Hello, welcome back to another episode of the Her Handmade Hustle Unplugged podcast. Another week has flown by. I hope you've all had a good one. It's been pretty productive here. I've been working on something truly exciting and groundbreaking, which I'm going to share with you later on. But put it this way, if any of the following applies to you, then you're going to want to listen till the end. So if you're a woman with a small creative business, someone who's feeling frustrated that they don't have the time to work on their business, to grow it, or maybe you're short on knowledge or energy or motivation. You're just someone who needs help to go from being a side hustle to a sustainable source of income, and also someone who's just seeking help, advice and support to help reduce the overwhelm, then you're going to want to listen till the end because I've got a solution for you. But for today, I thought it might be really good to talk about this problem or dilemma that I've been noticing amongst a lot of the ladies that I'm working with, actually, and it's become really apparent to me over the last few months. And I touched on it at the end of my last episode, that I had an epiphany the other night while I was talking to my husband, and we were discussing Her Handmade Hustle. And I'll tell you exactly what that is a little later on in the episode, and how it's going to help you. But for now, I wanted to discuss this dilemma that keeps cropping up time and time again and being a big barrier to the progression of small businesses for women. Because I speak, to a lot of women through my Facebook group, my Instagram page, and via email. And there's a few things that they have in common that I'm noticing that are just causing huge hurdles, are slowing them down and really, really frustrating them and getting on their nerves. And in a lot of cases, it's stopping them from going further with their business and taking it from being this side hustle to a full-time gig so they can give up a job that maybe they're working at the moment full-time and make this into a real income. And I know that they're massive hurdles as well because I'm also feeling them. I'm trying to give my time to developing Her Handmade Hustle alongside my running my stationery business, Vintage Twee, and being a mum, and juggling everything that comes with that responsibility and just life. And these hurdles, they're all real. They're not excuses or things that we're making up in our heads just so we can procrastinate that little bit longer on whether or not our business idea is going to work or is sustainable. I mean, we do always procrastinate, well, I do anyway. But, on the whole, I'm quite positive, and I like to get on with stuff, but I just find that things get in the way. We want to do it, we want to be successful, but life is tough. And most of us are trying to run our businesses while swimming against the tide all the time. And our only goal becomes staying afloat and not sinking, surviving. So we end up swimming harder. We're flailing around and getting swept in all different kinds of directions, not actually getting anywhere at all. Sometimes we're going backwards, or we're getting swept further and further away from our goals. And it's so frustrating. God, I know it is. I know exactly how it feels. Because all you actually want to do is enjoy the process of having a small business and getting one started up or growing it. You get excited about it and the thought of the life that it could give you and the flexibility and the freedom. But that tide of life and all the shit that it can bring in with it just leaves you feeling exhausted and like it's never going to happen. God, that tide, it can really bring in some crap, can't it? Money worries, illness, family responsibilities, work commitments, they all get in the way of you giving your all to your business, which is inevitable and unavoidable because they're all part of life and we have to learn to deal with them as we try and grow our businesses. I know that sometimes it can feel like the universe is against us. I mean, I don't consider myself, say, to be a negative person at all. But seriously, sometimes our family, we feel like we must have been really bad people in a previous life and we're just being well and truly punished for it now. Whenever we start to get ahead, or at least working in harmony with life, it just goes and flings some serious shit our way. And I'm not talking like small time stuff here, I'm talking big things that are like life-changing. And I'm sure you can relate to this. We've all got stuff going on. Sometimes it just feels too hard to actually make any serious progress in your business. Impossible at times. But you know what they say? A smooth sea doesn't make a skilled sailor. I love that saying. And it's so true. Yeah, yes, we could all do with a little less of the bad and more of the good stuff in life. But these things, as cliche as it sounds, they do ultimately shape us and build up our resilience and our determination, which are key players in the qualities required, not just to start a business of your own, but to sustain it as well. So I'm going to talk today about these major hurdles that may be stopping you from progressing and leveling up your business, and then tell you about my epiphany and how I think I'm going to help you and help you swim with the tide instead of against it and reach your dream island without drowning on the way there. Sound good? Okay, let's get on with it. So the first major problem that we all seem to be facing when it comes to working on our business is time. Now, I know there are just literally not enough hours in the day, are there? They're just not. And even if there were, we'd probably fill them with everything else that needs doing day to day rather than using them to do something for us. I don't know if that's just a female thing or not, but I know that I always feel like I should be doing something other than whatever it is that I need to do. I know that I struggle cramming working on 2 businesses into a 6-hour day when my daughter's at preschool. I don't break for lunch. I don't do the housework. My house isn't immaculate. I haven't got the time. I don't go for a stroll in the day. I know I should, but I don't get my half hour of exercise that it's recommended for you. I need to. I know I need to. As I'm saying it now, I'm thinking, right, I've got to start doing that. But I never get time because I can't actually fit my work into the hours that I have at the best of times. I work when she's in bed as well for a couple of hours every night. And actually, we watch Matilda a lot in our house. I can't remember if I mentioned this before or not, the original Matilda. And I always laugh at the bit where Matilda's mum, that horrible, mean woman who just doesn't want her anyway, Zinnia Wormwood, I think she's called. She's on the phone to her friend when Matilda comes home from school. And she goes to her friend, "Oh, I'll tell you, 6 hours a day of school is just not enough." And every time I watch it, I can totally relate to that. And I always think about it when I'm looking at the clock and it's like nearly 3 o'clock and I have to stop to go and pick my daughter up. I think, I've not got everything done that I needed to do. How? Where's the time gone? And I just relate to it so much. Perhaps not for the same reasons as Mrs. Wormwood, who, I do actually want to see my child. But the point is, time is limited. And it's often the main thing that women tell me that they are fighting against when it comes to progressing their business. I've got no time to post on social media. I've got no time to find out all the things that I want to know how to do. I've got no time to look stuff up or no time to work on my business because I'm spending what time I have got looking stuff up and not actually getting anything done or moving forward. It's like wading in treacle. And a lot of women who are working in full or part-time jobs whilst trying to get their businesses off the ground so they can take whatever time and energy they've got left and put it into their business. And sadly, it's not always enough. And that's through no fault of their own. They end up doing things half-heartedly because that's all they can physically manage at the end of the day, or the beginning of the day, depending on how knackered you are. And you can end up not succeeding and then feeling like a failure or like it'll never happen for you. Like a vicious circle. The next major hurdle that often sort of holds women back in their quest for running a successful, thriving business is knowledge, which is very much related to time because you often feel like you don't know enough and you can't do the things that you want to do because of this limited knowledge and the time to go and find it out. It's overwhelming, isn't it? Everything is constantly changing on the small business landscape. You go away for a week to reset and give yourself a break. Say, I'm switching off from social media. I'm fed up. You go away to gain some clarity and then you come back and you feel like you've dropped off the face of the earth. There's a whole new social media craze that you're being told you have to jump on immediately if you don't want your business to fail miserably. These pressures of constantly keeping up to date of what's new and what you should and shouldn't be doing, it's too much. It's far too much. But by the time you've figured out what you need to be doing and actually learn how to do it, the next craze has arrived. You just think, I can't keep up with this. The pace is so fast and you feel like you can't relax actually running your business and enjoying it. It's exhausting. And I sometimes wish it was like it was when I first started Vintage Twee. And, social media was around, but it was there to help boost your business. It wasn't quite so much of a money-making machine as it is now. And it definitely wasn't the be-all and end-all. And you didn't feel like you had to know everything and do it all. And I think now we just get so overwhelmed by everything that we think we need to know that we just miss the actual important stuff, which is actually enough. I always say knowledge is power, and it is, but it often comes at the cost of running yourself into the ground, trying to figure out how to do all that stuff in the first place. Another thing that a lot of people struggle with, and it slows them down massively when it comes to moving forward with their businesses, is energy. And I know this is a big one for me, huge. I'm running on empty, honestly, most of the time. I mean, having a 4-year-old is going to do that to you, I guess. But I know that a lot of women just simply don't have the energy to put 100% into their business, especially if they work, so they work full time or even part time alongside to pay the bills, or they've got a family and the commitments that come with it. Maybe they're carers as well. And I don't know about you, but once my daughter is in bed and I've had a shower, I've tidied up, I've washed up and all that, it can be like 9 o'clock. It's 9 p.m. And the only thing that I want to do is watch Netflix with a glass of wine. I can't even muster up the energy for a conversation with my husband, poor sod, honestly. I really can't. We literally have 2 hours every night, if we're able to stay awake that long, until like say 11 p.m, to cram our entire adult lives into. And, do what we want to do. So he usually chooses to play on his PS5 and his PlayStation, or he'll record some music, and I'll just watch some mindless TV. Although at the minute I'm watching Bridgerton. I've just discovered Bridgerton. I did try it when it first came out, and I wasn't too keen, but now I'm on season 2, loving it. For any mum that's watching Bridgerton as well, I'm going to put one on after this. Or, I go and sit on my balcony where it's so peaceful. I've got a little balcony at the back of one of our bedrooms. It actually backs onto my studio. And I've got loads of solar lights on it. I've decorated it like a little holiday balcony. It's got flowers. It's so pretty. And I go on there where it's just so peaceful and I don't have to talk to anyone. I saw this funny thing actually on Facebook, and it said, it was a picture of a lady just looking out to the sea, and she was sat in a deck chair, and the caption was, I still miss the days of the pandemic when it was illegal for people to talk to me or come near me or something like that. And it was so funny, and I thought, I feel like that always, at the end of the day anyway. This sounds awful, doesn't it? But, you can just feel so overstimulated by the end of the day from everything, particularly technology and work-related stresses that just come part and parcel of being self-employed, because you can't ever just switch off. Sometimes even the TV is too much for me. It doesn't relax me. There's times when my husband will say to me, what are you watching on TV? Eden's in bed. What are you going to do? Are you going to chill out and watch TV? And I go, oh, I don't know. I don't really want to, because I feel overstimulated. I've had probably, since she's got home from school, with her watching those awful YouTube videos. If you've got young children, you'll understand these like YouTube videos of kids making slime and doing all this stupid stuff. Obviously, they're earning fortunes from it, or the parents are. And it's just too much colours and flashing and loud noises, and it absolutely does my head in. So by bedtime, I don't want the TV on. So when I do work in the evening, it doesn't really involve my computer or my phone, because I'm done with screens, and technology. So it's always pen and paper, and I write. I love writing anyway. It relaxes me. So if I'm having to work, I do it without the stimulation of technology, and with a glass of wine on the side, of course. And I'm sure lots of women listening to this can relate to feeling overstimulated, lacking in energy to put into their business, particularly if you've only got evenings and weekends to actually do it, like a lot of us do. Another massive stumbling block is one of the main ones for women trying to start or grow their business, and it's money. It's tight. Even if you're doing relatively well and your sales are steady, you never quite feel safe financially when you're self-employed. And it's the not knowing of what's coming in, money-wise. It's really unsettling. It can really unsettle you. I'm used to it now. It's been a long time I've been doing it. However, it doesn't make it any easier. I've just got to accept that some months are better than others. Some months are on beans on toast for tea. Some months we go and eat out. More beans on toast lately, I'm not going to lie. But you know what I mean. And if you've just started out, it can be really scary to think about spending any money at all on your business. In an ideal world, it would be perfect if you could have, say £1,000 in your bank, your business account at all times, which is your security, your fallback when you need it. A bit like a float that you can use and keep there to get your supplies with, or get, all the day-to-day sort of business expenses, whatever. Or in reality, it's a lovely thought, but in reality, it's more like you're kind of scrabbling around, trying to use whatever you've got lying around your workroom to make stuff, or, you're sort of switching funds around between your bank accounts just so you've got enough to cover what you need it for. And I think the only way to ensure that you have this security financially when you've got your own business, so that you don't have to do this, is to get it to a place where it's consistent, where you can ultimately have some kind of idea of what you're going to bring in that month. It's all right me saying that, but how do you do it? How do you ensure that you have this guaranteed income that you would get if you had a job that you work for somebody else and you have this guaranteed wage? Because you can't predict what and when people are going to buy your stuff. And I know that better than anyone, trust me. But what you can do is, instead of focusing so much on the one-off, impulsive, immediate sales that you're getting on online marketplaces like Etsy or your website or Facebook, try and look at the bigger picture for your business. And that is, what can you do to get this guaranteed income, no matter how big or small it is, every single month? And I found the best way to do this is by securing work for other businesses or working with other companies who you basically know that you can count on every single month to provide you with that income. So I'll give you an example. When I started Vintage Twee, I reached out to a couple of companies that sold wedding gifts and decorations and hen party accessories online. And to try out a couple of my bestsellers, I emailed them. I said, I've noticed this is what you sell, and this is what I do. Would you like to try out a couple of my products on your website to see if they sell? So I'd send them a couple of things for free to try. If they sold, then they would come back to me to place an order. And I knew what would sell. I was selling quite a few for the hen party accessories, these rosettes that I make that say Bride to Be on them. I knew that they were a big seller. So I'd pitch them to these companies and say, give them a go, just try them. They will sell. And again, my cupcake toppers, they sold really well. They still do. They say things like I do on them, eat me. They're used for wedding cupcakes. And I knew that they were bestsellers. So I approached another company that supplied wedding decorations and said, try some of these out. And they did. They said, okay, we'll give it a go. And when they saw that people were buying them, then they would then come back to me and place a bulk order so that they had them in stock at their end, and then they could just send them out as and when people purchased on their website. So just by doing this and reaching out to these two companies at the beginning, I ended up having at least 2 guaranteed sources of income every month, which gave me that security. I used to give them like a 20% discount to the companies, so they could make a profit too when they sold them. So I would say to them, okay, you buy them at me 20% less than I sell them for. You can sell them at whatever you want, so long as it doesn't undercut my sort of retail price. And they did. They used to stick a couple of quid on it. And they would sell them because they probably would have a different market to me, to the people that I was getting, and reaching different people. So I had this hen party website in Ireland, and she ordered about 70 Bride to Be rosettes off me at like £5 each. That was discounted. And this wedding website that I mentioned with the cupcake toppers, they ordered like 300 of my cupcake tags and 300 of my party picks, all kinds of stuff, and they were like 40p each. So if you work it out, it was almost £600 a month that I was getting in guaranteed income during wedding season, at least, without my website sales or my not on the high street and my Etsy sales. So I knew that was coming in, and I knew, say, that my mortgage would be covered. So you just need to think about who you could reach out to who would buy your product outright, at a discounted rate in bulk. Are there any shops that you could supply maybe, or any websites that sell the kind of things that you do that would be interested in trialling out some of your products? Maybe you make soaps. You could consider contacting venues like hotels to see if they might be interested in including some of your soaps in their rooms for their guests. Or can you run like workshops, monthly, weekly, whatever, in teaching what you do at local venues? And they'd pay you per month, per session, whatever, to host the workshop. They make money on ticket sales, drinks. You make money on hosting the session. Whatever it is, you have to really focus on looking at how you can generate a guaranteed income every month from the bigger fish, rather than relying on unpredictable individual sales. So we know that all of these things are massive stumbling blocks that hold us back from actually getting where we want to be with our businesses. We've got no spare time. We've got limited knowledge on how to do the things we want to do for our business. We're running empty on energy, and often any extra energy that we've got at the end of the day or week gets absorbed by all the mundane daily tasks that we have to do. We're more mindful than ever about what we're spending our money on. And unfortunately, what you find is that you don't prioritise the one thing that is going to get you out of that situation, bring you the financial freedom, and that is making your business work. So that we don't have to worry so much about struggling week to week, sometimes day to day. You do have to speculate to accumulate, but the fear sometimes of speculating often blocks our ability to accumulate, and we just end up treading water or never getting anywhere. Or, in the extreme cases, totally going under, just giving up. So all this that we've talked about has just been playing on my mind lately, and I've had a lot of time for thinking while I've been off work after my operation. Sometimes it's a good thing, sometimes it's not. But in this case, it's been a good thing. Because a couple of weeks ago, my husband was sat in his corner in an evening, my daughter was in bed, he was gaming away. And I was moping a little bit, to be honest, and just feeling lost about which direction to go with Vintage Twee and with Her Handmade Hustle. Particularly the latter, because even though I felt like I was doing everything I could to help women out with their small businesses, from my perspective anyway, I realised that perhaps I've been looking at it all wrong. And honestly, I was feeling quite jaded because I knew that I needed to do better, but I just didn't know how. Now, I'm one of these people that I'll always find a solution. I'm determined to find a solution to whatever problem it is that I've got. And it was a sort of really unfamiliar territory for me to feel like that, to feel like I didn't know which way to turn. I didn't know how to make things better, to make Her Handmade Hustle into a viable business, but also to help these women that basically are trying to do what I did 14 years ago and start a business that they can make full time and earn a decent living from. I just knew that I needed to do better, and it was bugging me. So my husband looked at me while he was gaming, and he must have just seen me like looking a bit deflated. It was a rare moment that he turned off his game. Sorry, Dave, but it was. And he came over to ask me what was wrong. So we chatted for a bit about it. And I actually said to him that I just didn't know if I was good enough to do this. To be a creative business coach, to help women achieve their dream of running their own business. I had a serious case of imposter syndrome, honestly. There's one lady that I follow on social media, actually. And she started up a company doing something similar, supporting women in business. But she's like absolutely smashing it. Okay, she's 10, 12 years down the line, something like that. She's got like 250,000 followers on Instagram. Everybody wants to be part of her company. And I kept thinking, I can never compete. And I was thinking, what's the point? What's the point in me even trying? But I was trying to think, all the advice that I give to people, one of the main things I say is don't compare yourself, because what you can offer is totally different to what that person offers. And even when I listen to her podcasts or I watch her reels and on stuff on Instagram, she's so different to me. She's very corporate. I'm not. I'm far from corporate. I like to think I'm more down to earth. I'm more honest. I don't really hide stuff, If I'm struggling, I'm honest about it and say that, it's tough. It's really tough doing this. Whereas some people like to put out front and say they're doing amazingly. She probably is. But you know what I mean? We're very different people. So I thought, okay, I may be ready to throw the towel in, but I'm not going to. And my husband actually said to me, what is it? What exactly is it that that these women that you've spent such a long time talking to, what do they want? What do they need from all the conversations that you've had with them? What is it that the one thing they have in common that they're struggling with the most? And I thought about it and I said to him, well, it's what I struggle with. It's lack of time, knowledge, no energy, lack of money. Exactly the things that I've talked about here today in this episode, because these are the real problems and the real challenges that women are facing who are desperate to make a go of their business, but we're up against these mighty forces, these huge bosses, as my husband would call them if he was talking in gaming terms, that have to be defeated before they can move on to the next level. And ultimately towards the main goal, the whole reason for playing it in the first place, and that is winning the game, or in our case, achieving business success. So we thought about it together and we turned off Netflix for the night. I stopped snapping at him for offering some constructive criticism. And I thought about how I could do better than what I was currently offering, which is, a 6 and a 12-week coaching program, and like a one-off masterclass to help with anything that you're struggling with. And I realised that maybe that is a bit overwhelming for a lot of women who are new to this self-employment lark. It might be a bit expensive. It's too much of an investment, especially if you work full-time. It's an investment, not just money, but time and energy. And maybe they don't want to do the coaching program for 6 weeks or 12 weeks. It's too much. And I know that the things that people are struggling with is money, time and energy. So it made sense that the uptake to the coaching programs hasn't been what I anticipated. But what I had noticed since starting Her Handmade Hustle was that women seem to enjoy and benefit from the little things. The bite-sized pieces of advice that I could give them via Facebook or Instagram, that would help them there and then with whatever it was that they were struggling with. These messages that I would receive. Hi Joanne, I'm just really struggling adding music to a reel. Can you help me? If they couldn't work out how to set up an automated reply on their Facebook business page. Hi Joanne, can you just tell me where will I find this on the settings page? Blah, 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 There's so many things that women are coming to me with that I knew how to do because I've done it and I'm still doing it. And I've done it for a long time. And it's these things, the things that people don't know how to do, the small stuff, or they haven't got the time or the energy to find out, that they need help with the most. And more importantly, on a real-time basis. And I realised the importance of having this accessible business support for these women. The need for quick advice that can help solve the problems that you come across in the day-to-day running of your business. It's like when you're in the middle of doing something and you get stuck. It could be anything, particularly a lot of stuff around social media. I'm finding that people are just getting stuck working out how to do. So you just stop because you can't figure out how to do it. Or, by the time you have, your enthusiasm has completely dwindled, hasn't it? And the fire's gone out and you think, I can't be asked anymore, I'm not doing it. And give up. And you go and sit the kettle on and eat. That's what I do. There's been countless times that people have messaged me on Instagram to help with the pressing problem. And it's stressing them out, like truly stressing them out, because they've got to run out the door and pick their kids up. Or, they've got to get ready for their shift, for their part-time work. And I help them. I help them there and then. I offer quick answers to their questions so they can do what they set out to do quickly. And then they know how to do it the next time as well. So I realised that I can help you more than ever with managing your time, increasing your knowledge, giving you back your energy reserves and helping you earn more money without breaking the bank, reducing all that stress. So how am I going to do this? Okay, here it is. So I am going to be offering women with small businesses, particularly creative businesses, a fast and friendly and affordable advice service, all delivered via WhatsApp. There's obviously a need for quick and accessible, like real-time support, real-time business advice, and the chance to have a mentor like me on hand to help, a real person at the other end of a quick WhatsApp message, like you text a friend, casual, informal, friendly, no pressure. A quick message. There's no huge investment, no huge commitment. It's just having someone there to text when you're not sure of something and you need advice. If you're one of these people like me and questions pop into your head all the time, wouldn't it be nice to know that there was somebody on the other end of the phone that you can text and say, Joanne, I'm just stuck on this. Can you help me? Joanne, I need to know, how do I add this damn song to my reel? All this stuff that is driving you insane. A quick message to help you figure out how to do something. It would have taken you hours otherwise. And peace of mind that you've got access to the support you need whenever you need it. And it's literally at your fingertips or in your back pocket, or wherever you keep your phone. And I think having that real person there, it's a bit of insurance, isn't it? It's like saying, I'm safe. You've got somebody there that you can turn to if you come across any technical issues or something that's bugging you or a challenging customer and you don't know how to deal with them. And that person is real and is rooting for you and your business because I genuinely care. A person who can find stuff out for you, reduce your stress, increase your productivity and give you back your time. I was watching Charlie the Chocolate Factory this morning just to divert at 6:30 in the morning with Eden. She always has it on really early. And Willy Wonka says to one of the children, time is precious. He says, don't waste it. And it stuck in my head. And I thought I must mention that when I record the podcast today. So, I decided to be a trailblazer, stick my neck out, do something new and exciting and totally risky, because this is either going to be a roaring success or it's going to totally belly flop and I'll regret ever recording this podcast episode. But let's hope that's not the case and I've got it right. So I'm offering what I'm going to be calling my Creative Business Assistant Service, where you can have access to me to give you bite-sized business support via WhatsApp message whenever you need it. Whatever you're struggling with, you can text me. Social media stuff, technology, anything that's difficult for you. Even if you want to bounce an idea off me for a new product or you need some feedback, you can ask me advice about anything at all and I will help you. And if, I don't know the answer, which in some cases I may not, I'll find out for you. And my aim is to deliver this service on the same day. So if you've got a problem, I will get back to you the same day to help you out. Because time is of the essence when you run a small business. I know that. And you need quick advice. You need fast responses. And in the event that I can't do it on the same day for whatever reason, things crop up, things happen, it will always be within a 24-hour period. So you're never going to have to wait long to hear back from me. And honestly, I don't think there's much out there like it. There might be a reason why. Soon find out, I guess. But I'm willing to stick my neck out and try. To quote Winnie the Pooh and Eric Hansen, he wrote, "What if I fall? Oh, but my darling, what if you fly?" I love that quote. So I've got to try this. And I know what you're thinking. What is it going to cost? I can't afford this kind of support. I'd love it, but it's going to be another expense that I'm not going to be able to stretch to. Well, I know this is what you're worried about, okay? So this is what I have been working on. I'm going to make it as affordable as I physically can for people. You can have me as your very own creative business assistant for a whole month for less than the cost of a Chinese takeaway. And I mentioned on my Facebook group the other day, I ordered one last weekend because I couldn't bother cooking. and it came to like £25 for a couple of main courses and some prawn crackers, just because I was too knackered to cook. You know, we're talking £19 a month. That's the figure I'm looking at for offering you unlimited WhatsApp business support with me on the other end of a text message. At the moment, it's something that I feel like I can offer to these women that are asking me questions that need this help. And I want it to grow. I want people to join and to trust that I can deliver this service for them. I mean, I must be mad. The thing is, though, you wouldn't think twice, would you, about ordering a takeaway once a month or getting one takeaway coffee a week. Sometimes I can spend £19 a month on Costa coffees. But just think how much more you would get out of that money if you spent it on your business. Plus, it will be totally tax deductible, so you can stick it on your business expenses. There you go. Bonus. You can't do that with a Chinese takeaway or Costa coffee. But, you know, it's to have somebody there as your trusted advisor, your cheerleader, and your mentor. And there's going to be no pressure, no contract. You can just do this on a monthly basis, like a pay-as-you-go. You can cancel it any time. You know, you will purchase from my website a 1-month package, and it will start on the date you purchase and it will run out on the same date the following month. If you want to continue it, amazing. You could then go back and purchase another package, or you can take advantage of, I'm going to offer a 6 and a 12-month package as well for people that want sort of that security of knowing that they don't have to keep worrying about renewing it, and they want that business support. So I'm going to be offering discounted rates for a 6 and a 12-month package. Because I know, you know, some months are tougher than others, which is why I didn't want any pressure financially. I know money is a big one for a lot of us. You know, there's no pressure. It's totally flexible. I understand, I've been there. I'm still there. You know, there was nothing like this for me when I started Vintage Tweet, and I had to figure it all out for myself. And it's harder now. It's so much harder now for small businesses because of social media and everything that you have to try and keep up with. So it makes it impossible to actually do what it is that you want to do, and that is run your business, you know, and grow it. Because you're constantly trying to keep up and learn. And I feel like it's why I'm in a good position to be able to offer this service to other women in the same boat that I was in. Because I did have to figure it all out for myself. And now I want to help other people. I'm really, really excited to launch it. It's not going to be long now. I'm just finalising the last few details. I'll actually have an information page on my website about it. So if you head to herhandmadehustle.co.uk, it is on the homepage, and you can follow through to the link to read a little bit more about it and how you can register your interest. But I'm hoping it's going to be live towards the end of June, just to give you an idea. So it also doesn't matter where in the world that you are, thanks to the power of WhatsApp. I'm saying this because I know that about a fifth of my listeners are outside of the UK, which is amazing. We've got lots of listeners in USA, Canada, Finland. So you guys can join the service too. It really doesn't matter where you are located. I just have to, I'm thinking I might have to get those clocks, you know, that go around your house. There's ones that have like the name of the city in the current time, like London, New York City, Hong Kong. Yeah, a girl can dream, can't she? But you never know. One day it might get to that. So that's it. You know, the cat's out of the bag. That was my epiphany. As I said, I've got lots of information on my newly updated website. So I will put the link to it in the show notes. But again, if you head to herhandmadehustle.co.uk, you will find all the information that I've currently got on there, along with the option to be added to my mailing list, so you'll be the first to know when it is live. So that's it. You know, I hope the thought of this excites you as much as it does me, and makes you think of what is actually achievable when you've got the support in place to help you reach your goals. Because maybe that's what you've been missing all along. You know, that support there in the background, that mentor that can help you achieve what it is that you want to achieve. And we're not even talking about the massive goal at the end. We're talking about day-to-day manageable things, because we have to be able to achieve those to get to the end goal, if that makes sense. And sometimes it's those day-to-day problems and those quick things you need answers to that are slowing you down and they stop you from getting to the end, which is business success, of course. So thanks for listening to me go on about it. I hope that I've really touched on some of the real problems that you may be facing as a female entrepreneur. And let me know if this is something that you think you would benefit from. Let me know if you think it's affordable, if you think it's would work for you, if you think that I've hit the nail on the head with what it is that you want, if it would be beneficial. I really would love your feedback so that I can get a great idea of whether or not this is going to be worth the time and effort to put into. And I'm sure it will be. You know, I am, say, a very determined person. I want to get it out there and make it available to as many women as possible, because I know I've been in that position and I know what help it is that you need, and I can offer it to you in a way that's realistic for you. So I will leave it there for today. I've really enjoyed recording this episode. I hope it's given you a little bit of fire in your belly, made you feel excited about what's possible with the right support in place for you, and made you think twice about next time you order a Chinese takeaway, what you could have had instead. But please do join me next week for my next episode, and I hope that you all have a lovely rest of the week, and thank you for listening. Take care.